There we go. So back on the notes, you guys all have the notes out from last time, right? We're gonna finish those. Got the notes? All right, got the notes. Okay. All right. So at the top where it says translating verbal expressions, remember those are just like real words. What about algebraic? What does that mean? What's an algebraic? It's got algebra, and algebra is a type of math. So we're translating words to math. That's all. Translating words to math. All right. Now, we filled out our dictionary, right? We know about what all the words mean. Sum, difference, product, all that good stuff. So now we had to put it to use. Now we did most of these, right? Let me blow this up a little bit. Let's do zoom, let's do 200. Remember we had to translate the words, the verbal expressions, to algebra expressions. So what did we say algebraic meant again?
Math.
Yeah, just math expressions. All right. First thing you had to do, we had to find the keywords. What was the key word in number 1? What's the math word in number 1?
Half.
Yeah, half. And we already said that for class we didn't have a word, so we're just going to use C. So it ended up being half. We know is just half. So we end up with 1/2 times C. What about the next one? We had a number decreased by 3 is 7. What's the key word this time? There's a couple key words. Decreased is 1. So we know, let's do this one at a time. We know decreased means what? Minus. What's another word here that's important? Math symbol. A number. What are you going to use for a number?
N.
Yeah, you could use N or X or anything. But what's the other word group that's in our list? It's a very small word. Is. What does is mean? Equals. There it is. Okay. So you have a number. We'll use N because we don't know what the number is. Decrease. We know that means minus. 3, so that's just a 3, is equals 7. So we have N minus 3 equals 7. Translated. I'm going to use my highlighter. All right, so then over here, $3 per bag is twice the cost. Keyword that time, what did we say the keyword was? We got per, which means multiply, sure. And what else is an important word? Is, we have is again. We have twice. What is? Equals, what about twice? 2, and then 2, what is it, like adding 2? What's twice? Adding 2? Yeah, twice means we got to multiply by 2, so we're going to do 2 times something. X. Okay. Yeah, you can use X for times. Oops. What so we're almost there. $3. Okay, so we know we're gonna have a 3. Do I need to use a D this time?
Yeah.
It's tricky. You only use letters if you don't know what the number is. Right, you got to use B for bag. You don't need the D for dollars, because you know you have $3. Okay? So you had 3, we don't need the D, times, because that's what per means, bag. We don't know how many bags, so that's why we have to use B. Is, we said was, equals, twice is 2 times what? C, because we don't know what the cost is. So that's our equation for that one. So that really should be over here. All right, so then we had number 4. This time, help me out. I don't know if this seating arrangement is going to work, fellas. You're getting distracted very easily, which means I'll probably have to move here. Milton! What's the key word in number 4? 1/3 is one of the key words. What else is in there?
Product.
Product, good. So what does 1/3 tell us?
1/3.
Mm-hmm.
1/3.
1/3, perfect. And what does product mean? And there's something special about product. What did it say in our dictionary about product? Use parentheses. Thank you. So the question is, what are we going to put in parentheses this time?
R and Y.
R and Y, good. The product of R and Y. This is what we got to put in parentheses right here. So we end up with R times Y. And then what about the 1/3? What do you do with that? Good. You just put it right in front. 1/3 R times Y. There it is. Nice shot, Milton. All right. Now we got to where we left off last time, right? Ernesto.
Yes.
7 less than D cubed. What is the key word there?
5.
What? We're doing number 5.
5.
7 less than D cubed. What's the key word there, Ernesto? Well, 5 is the number. That's the problem that we're doing. Right. What's the key word? What's the word that we need to translate to math? Less than. And then there's another word that we need to translate. Cubed. What does less than mean, Ernesto? Minus. Let's see if we can answer one of these questions without you, Geronimo. Minus. What about cubed? Ernesto. Look at the sheet. There's the cubed up here. And what is it telling you to do? Starts with the E. Exponent. It's the exponent. It's the little number that is a little higher than the rest, right? So you end up with D, and then we need a little 3 up here. Now, here's the question. Should it be 7 minus D, and then the little 3? D to the 3rd power? No. And I need you to put a big fat X through that. Everybody, do me a favor. Go up at the top of your notes. And I want you to circle less than. You see how it has that star next to it? Less than is special. Anyone know why less than is special? If I say 7 less than D, I can't write 7 minus D. I have to switch the order. It's got to be D minus 7. So here you need to make sure you switch the order. Less than is the only one that you have to make sure you change the order. And I promise you'll see one like that on your quiz tomorrow. I promise. Yeah, we got a quiz tomorrow. Actually, Wednesday. Wednesday you have a quiz. You're right. So, down here, instead of 7 minus D cubed, what am I going to write?
D cubed.
Minus 7. Okay? So you got to be careful with less than. You got to make sure you switch the order. Very, very important. Make sure you guys circle that on your notes. Ernesto, I got to keep this card. You got to make sure you pay attention so you can get it next time. Nope. How about Henry? Number 6. What's the key word here, Henry? Quotient, good. And what else? Squared. Ernesto.
Yes.
Stuff. Here.
When I move?
The quotient. What does quotient mean there, Henry? What does that tell us to do? Multiply? Yeah, division. So we know we're going to be dividing something here. And what about squared? What's squared tell us?
Divide.
Look for squared on there. You see it? Yeah, second power. What's that E word? It's the type of X exponent. So we're going to have G and then a little 2 up there. And we got K. So how do I write it all together? The quotient of G squared and K. How do I put that?
E squared over K.
His name is Henry.
G squared. The rest of K.
Good. G squared, and then you can just write it over K. Or you could have written G squared divided by K like that. Either one. Okay. Over here, we had 3 more. Twice the sum. Let's just get through this. Twice. What is Oh, yes. Anybody, let me know. What's the key words this time? Twice, and what else? Sum is another one. All right. What are we going to use for a number? Yeah, you got to use any letter. Let's just use N. So I end up with, what does twice mean? 2 times what?
5.
Times 5? What did it say? Twice the
Sum.
sum. What does sum tell us to do? To add. And not only that, we have to make sure we use, sum says use parentheses. So what are we going to put in parentheses?
5.
Yeah, 5 and a number. So I got to use 5 plus n. That's the sum of 5 and n. Then twice means 2 times. So ultimately, it looks like that. That one is tricky. That's why we got to use parentheses when it says sum. And add the whole thing. All right. You guys get it? We go over to number 8. 5 more than the cube root of a number. What's the key word? More than, yep. And what else? Cube root, sure.
Number.
All right. And for number, we know we can use n. What does more than tell us? Plus, what's cube root? It's not an exponent. It's a radical. If you look at your chart, there it is, the cube root. That's that symbol there. So I know that's a little cube root. What am I missing? What's wrong with what I wrote right there? That's the square root. How do I make it the cube root? Yeah, just a little 3 right there. Okay? So then I got 5 more than, so that's like plus, the cube root of a number. So there's a little cube root. And bang. How's that? Now technically, you're supposed to switch the order for more than to. You're supposed to, but even if I switch the order, what property or what rule says that these are the same? What property says you can move the order? The commutative property. Do you want to dance, Marilyn? No, you don't. You sure you don't want to dance? Sure, we can. No. So that's why for more than, it's okay if you don't switch the order. But less than, these are not the same. Remember, we can't switch the order for subtraction. You can only do it for addition and multiplication. So less than, you have to switch. More than, it doesn't matter. Either one is fine. Okay? Yes. No. Entendemos. No nos importa. Son muertos. You guys alive? What is happening?
Yeah.
Yes? So for more than, don't worry about switching the number. Let's keep on going. One more before you all fall over in your seats. The square root of the difference between x and y. I need charos. What's the key word, charos? Square root, good. What else is important? Mm-hmm. What does square root tell us? All right, so yeah, we got to use x and y, of course. What does square root tell us to do? Like that? Aha, the radical. What does difference tell us? Okay, so how are we going to put it all together? Yeah. Remember, difference is special, right? Difference tells us to use parentheses, so we got to make sure that the x minus y stays together. Now, this time, the square root will keep them together, so you don't need the parentheses. But you need to make sure that they are both underneath. Yeah, same thing. All right. On to the back side. You ready? Gotta make sure we get these notes in so that way you are prepared for your homework and your quiz next class. Oops. Did we get all that? Let me do this. Let me change the view a little bit. All right. Here's what I should say. Write a verbal expression. Oh, what does verbal mean again? Words, right? So we're going to write words to represent the algebraic expression. What does that mean?
Math.
Those are math symbols again. And we know that there may be more than one correct expression. That's why I have 3 different blanks here. Might not use all 3, but there could be more than one. So, look at that first one. 3N. What does that mean? 3 nachos? 3N a number? What does it mean if I don't see anything in between? What is that telling me to do? Add, subtract, multiply, divide? Multiply. If you don't see anything there, that means multiply. So the easiest one would probably be 3 times, you could say n, or you could say a number. That's probably the easiest one, right? What are there other words that we could have used instead of times? What else can we use instead of times? You could say 3 multiplied each. You could say, like, per and each are kind of like, those are special. You kind of need like a story for those. Well, we can't. Can we use not twice? Twice is when it's 2 times. What's the one that's 3 times? Triple. We could say triple a number, or you could say triple n. What's another word that we could use for times? What's the one that normally uses parentheses? Per, we could use per, we could say like $3 per nacho. So I'm just going to say nacho there. 3 per nacho. And I know that'd be times. There's another, what's the special one though? Starts with a P. Product. We could also say the product of 3 and n. The product tells us to multiply. All right. We have 3 more there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have 6 groups. So here's your job. You guys are going to try to come up with, no, you're going to try to come up with 2 different expressions for example 2. You guys are doing example 3, Henry and Alicia. Okay? Eric, Firas, Juan, and Yamile, but you go by a different name, right? What do you like to be called? Yamile is okay? Alright, so you 4 We're going to be doing example 4. Manny, Alejandro, Hailing, and Sharos. Sharo. 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 Sharos. 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 Sharos or Sharos? Shadows. All right. So you guys are doing example 2. All right. Try to come up with 2 different ways. Itzel, Darlene, Milton. Just do example 3, and then Geronimo, Sahetu, and Isai, example 4. Okay. You're with this group. You guys are doing example 2. No, because you couldn't behave yourselves over there. That's right. These girls are good. They're really smart. Alright, you got 2 minutes.
Which one we have to do?
You guys are doing example 4. You guys are doing example 2. What do you think, Henry? Done? You guys are doing example 3. Okay, gotta be careful here. I like that. That's perfect. Now here, this isn't going to the power of x. This is still the cube. So the only way you can say that. Maybe there's a different word for plus, right? Total you have to use in a different context. Total is like you'd have to say like the total of blah 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 and blah blah.
What was that? What did we call it?
Yeah, that's just the only name you use for that. All right. Let's see what you got. All right. Hey, Stephanie. Yeah. Hey, Stephanie, what's one way you could say example 2? What's the 1/2? You just told me. What's 1/2? A half times, so I could say 1/2 times what? N cubed. Good. That's one way you could say it. Let's go with Hailing. What's another way we could say it? Hailing's got it. Uh-huh. To the, sorry, you say to, I didn't hear what you said. 1 half, and then what? D and 3, we're going to need, we need something there for multiply.
Time.
We used times before. Let's do something different. You could say 1 half per. When you have fractions, you guys do this. You can also, with fractions, you can also say of. When you deal with a fraction, sometimes that might help. 1 half of, and then you said n to the. What'd you say, Haley? Third. Third what? Alright. Alright. Back over to, let's make sure we get to all of them first. We're running out of time. Alicia, you come up with anything for example 3? Nothing. Nothing. I don't buy that. Henry, can you help her out? Y plus the cube root. Good. Cube root of x. Sounds good to me. Who else was that? That was Milton and Itzel and Darlene. Darlene.
Wow. Geronium.
What's another way you could have written that? What's another word instead of plus? Darlene.
Square root of number.
Very, very, very close. Not square root because there's a little 3, right? So, alright, help her out, Milton.
The cube root of a number more than what?
Good. Cube root, right? It's got the little 3. So the cube root of, and I like how you said a number because you can use that for x, right? Cube root of a number. And then he got outside the box. Said more than, sure. More than means plus. Andy remembered to switch the order. More than y. That's great. That's great. All right, 2 more. Let's hear from, we've heard from Padas today. How about Juan? What did your group come up with for this one? X, you got 2 up there, the radical, what do you think?
Cube.
Not sure. Yamale, can you help him out? No, you couldn't do. You're getting your feet wet. What do you think, Aaron? Nothing?
Explain.
No, I got something. What do you think?
I feel wrong.
Alright, well, that's better than nothing. What do you got?
X twice divided by y squared.
Alright, you gotta be careful. Twice does mean 2, but that's if you're multiplying by 2. This has an exponent. So we gotta say x. You could use second power, or you could say squared. And then divided by, sure. Now that's not y squared, it's the radical. How do I say that? Divided by the square root of y. Okay, so you got to be careful between square root and squared. Check it out. The bell's going to ring in 5 seconds. Don't move until you get your homework. Alright, that's good enough to get you started. We got one more that we got to tackle next class. But we're also going to have our first quizito that really, really counts next time around. So make sure you guys do the homework. If you can do the homework, you'll be just fine. Yes, put the cards in the box on the way out. No, Ernesto, you are late.
I'm gonna take the next class.
Ernesto, do me a favor. I know I'm not giving you a pass. You owe me time. Let's make sure all the desks are straight. You see how this one's a little crooked and that one's on top of the other one?